Okay.
I get a racket.
You're loaded.
I'm going to take the spark plug out of that lawnmower.
Oh, I've got
Should I
words.
make
I'm
a
going
racket?
to say something.
Oh, hello, darling. How you going? Thanks for joining the
No,
party.
I'm not staying for very long.
Oh, what are you doing?
I've come to say something before you
Oh,
start.
here we go. Right, let's bring it up.
Yeah, I'm going to wait till more people turn up and have words with you.
Are you
I was
going
just
crazy
mowing the
on me?
lawn. See, you can see the... That's from the mower goggles.
Is that right?
And he comes, he goes, be quiet. Be quiet, stop mowing the lawn. What husband tells their wife to stop mowing the lawn? You're making too much noise. Too much noise.
Nah, it's a combination of dogs barking, kids screaming, you mowing the lawn, and then the Chad decides to fire up the drop saw. It's like, you're killing me, man. It's too much. I can't focus. There's too much racket going on.
Well, I just came to say hi. How are you all? How are you all going? What a beautiful day. One of our children's birthday today, so I'm off to cook dinner, so I can't stay.
You're going to leave me hanging, Dale?
I am.
Is that right?
I've got a bone to pick with you publicly. I'm going to pick it.
Here we go. Here we go.
Pick it right now.
Here we go.
So, a few times I've watched your live after the fact.
Yep. Yep.
So, ladies, I need you to tell me, okay, if he starts having a go at me on these chats, I need to know about it because we've got to stick together. He can't be mean to me publicly, right?
I think you just
can't
said
be
it.
mean to me
Stick
publicly. So, ladies, you need to let me know privately if he's being mean to me on camera so I can have words with him later. You said something mean about me last week. I'm like, right. I'm on here to let you know I'm listening. I'm listening.
Is that right?
Yes.
Right.
So anyway, I hope you're all well. I'm off to cook dinner.
You go and cook up a spread, darling.
See you later. Okay.
Oh, good afternoon. Welcome to Hazelwood Tiny Homes. Had a fantastic day today. Beautiful sunshine. Hope everyone had a fantastic day. Hey, but listen, don't leave me hanging. Make sure you bung some questions up. I've got me goggles on. I'll be able to see. Well, hopefully I can read your questions as they come through. So make sure you build them up so I can keep the show on the road. I've got a heap of questions here to run through as well. But yeah, we had a pretty mad week this week. Like few deliveries going on. I did a couple of deliveries myself up to Mount Kira this week. Mother and daughter tiny homes. It was our Dawson model and a Jackson model. Went up to Mount Kira. That was probably one of my easiest deliveries. Like honestly, it was flat ground and just grass and just drive the tiny home in and there you go. It's like done and dusted. But in saying that, the grass is a little bit wet. Now with our truck, I've only got I've got a Isuzu single axle, no diff lock, and it's like towing 4.5 ton. As soon as you hit that wet grass, it's just gonna bog. Actually, when I say bog, slip is the word I'm after. Okay, it's just gonna slip. Anyway, funny story, true story. I'm sort of backing in. I'm looking at where Enzo, he's got it all marked out. He's got the pegs happening. He's got the road base in. I'm thinking, oh yeah, right, that's looking good. So I'm just going to get into that spot, you know. And but when you're backing, I thought I'll get one shot at backing the tiny home in because I know as soon as I stop the momentum, the wheels are just going to start slipping and it's all over. Anyway, I'll just go for broke and I'm backing her in, and anyway, as it turns out, I'm about six inches off the pace. You know, got to be moving across 6 inches, and of course I slip her in forward, try to go forward again, and she just starts slipping. You know, wheels are spinning, and I said, Enzo, jump in your truck. He said, oh, it's not a four-wheel drive. I said, no, I've got the four-wheel drive, mate. Just bung that truck in front. She'll be right. No dramas, you know. Anyway, so he pulls up the old truck and he puts her in front. It's a I don't even know what it was. Anyway, it looked like a four-wheel, but it was without the four-wheel drive part, you know. And I said, just get in front there. And so I grabbed one of the snap straps out of the back of the truck and I hooked it up to his tow bar and up to me hook on the front of the truck. And I said, when I beat the horn, I said, just gun it. I said, just go for it. And anyway, I give poor old Enzo a crash course in four-wheel drive towing. This is what you got to do, man. You just got to gun it, you know. Anyway, he takes off the first time and he just goes like just like steady and did nothing. It's like, mate, I said, bring it back. I said, you got to gun it, mate. Just floor it. Anyway, of course, the first, what have I got? The truck's about 5 tonne, tiny house 4.5 tonne, 9.5 tonne. He's got a single axle, single drive, not four-wheel drive, and it's going nowhere, you know. And anyway, the snap breaks in half, and hang on a second, I've got a question. How do you attach pictures to the steel walls? Oh, Carol, great question, Carol. As you are, a lot of people may know, all of our tiny homes are actually built from refrigeration panels. So what that means is that it's 75mm solid polystyrene and it's clad with Colorbond steel. So rather than actually drilling holes through the wall like you might do with a gyprock wall or something like that, you can actually get magnetic hooks. Okay, so off the net, you can just Google like magnetic hooks grab these, magnetic hooks, stick them on the wall, and if it's a bit heavier picture or picture frame or something like that, you can just stick it on the wall, just stick it anywhere, and you've got no holes in the wall, you know. There's another question, What sort of modifications can be made for taller people, if any? Well, in actual fact, who's this? Tristy, that's a nice name. Tristy, we can actually do modifications. I've actually chatted to people on this. At the moment, we come under the category of an oversized load. So we're less than 3.5 metres wide. We're lower than 4.6 metres high. Okay, so that means I don't need a permit to travel around most areas in Australia. There's the odd place I do need a permit because the RMS have actually got up on their website where you can where it says during holiday season and stuff like that, you actually need a permit. Anyway, long story short, if you want to go higher than our 1.8 ceiling height upstairs at the moment that we've got in our ceiling space in our second loft, we can actually go higher than that, but that means we'll need to get a permit because we can then go into the category of a wide load, okay? Because we're higher than 4.6, we'll need to go to, say you need to go to 1.9, 2 metres, whatever upstairs, so another 100, 200 mil, we can do it. Just means that for that we'll need to get a once-off permit to get you to your delivery location, no problem. Faye Roberts, here we go. Do you sell tiny homes with gutters attached or do they need to be fitted after delivery? Faye, all of our tiny homes come with gutters, straight up. No extra cost, it's all included in the actual base price of our tiny homes. So you don't need to actually pay extra for our gutters. Because I looked at it, I started weighing this up, like with a standard caravan, like there's no gutters, like the water just runs straight on the ground, and then a lot of tiny homes do come with gutters, but then again, if you've got a pitch roof model, you can't put gutters. If you're just coming out of the caravan classification, you've got to be less than 2.5 metres wide. You can't actually have gutters on the side, which is where most of your water's going to go, okay? But because our homes come under the category of an oversized load, they've already got the gutters on the side. We collect all the rainwater that you need. And then I started thinking, if people don't, if they're going to go off grid, you've got to look at this sort of stuff, because I'll tell you what, to buy water in, the actual water's cheap, okay? So to buy water in, it costs nothing, but it's the truck hire you pay for. So you might pay for a load, okay, of around about 8 or 10,000 litres of water, you pay $250. Now, if you don't have, if you don't have gutters, that means you've got to buy water in all the time, and that's got to be an expensive exercise, because as soon as you start washing, you're using washing machines and showers and that sort of stuff, you're going to use a lot of water. So make sure your tiny home, if you're going to go off grid, make sure it's actually got gutters already included on the tiny home. All of ours come with gutters, so you don't have to worry about that. And because actually one big benefit of our larger homes, because they're 3 metres wide, 7.2, 8.2, 9.2 long, and deck and awning as well, okay, we collect a lot of water. Okay, so with the gutters all around, we collect a heap of water. So the more, roof space that you've got, the more water you're going to catch. And that means you're just not going to have to buy water in. And if you just got a standard rainfall, it's going to be really good for water catchment, which is awesome, Keep those questions coming, and I'll just keep rattling on here. Oh, back to my story with with the delivery this week. I was given old mate a crash course in four-wheel drive. And I said, anyway, back that two-wheel drive up. But then because the first snapstrap broke, because I'm trying to tow 9 ton, or just snap 9 tons. So I hooked up two straps and I said, mate, just jump in. I said, just floor it. Anyway, he said, you sure? I said, yeah, mate, just give us some. Oh my God. And it was actually flat ground. So I didn't take much. I just did a little bit of a jig to get it going. As soon as I got that momentum going, I just upped it and out she come. And so happy days. We got it all set up right and got it all positioned just right. So, and we beat this last bit of rain we've had. We've had a mountain of rain in the last couple of days. And I knew I had a very short period of time, you know. Faye, thank you for explaining that. I thought they couldn't be transported with the gutters attached. Well, yes, Faye, in regards to gutters, yes, a lot of, if you're coming under the standard caravan size, the maximum you can actually register a vehicle, the absolute max is 2.5 wide, okay? People say 2.4, but it's actually 2.5 metres wide. So if you're going to try to obviously max out your floor space, like any tiny home builder would, maxing out your floor space, okay, 2.5, 2.4 wide, you don't want to reduce your width of your home just to put gutters on the outside. So I guess some tiny home builders will actually install the gutters actually on site. But because we come under, once again, just to explain that a little bit better, because we come under the classification of an oversized load, okay, that means we can, not only is our tiny home 3 metres wide, but we can actually go up to 3.5 metres wide. So the home's 3 metres, you got 150 mil gutter this side, 150 mil gutter the other side. So we run gutters all the way around our homes, you know. So there's another question there. Jess, I know this is probably not a question for you guys, but I thought you might have some idea how a lot of people finance tiny homes. Personal loans, buy them outright. Finance can be an issue for a lot of people. I know we have a couple of finance companies that we're partnering with. That one company will loan up to 70 grand, another company will loan up to 150 grand. They do it as actually a personal loan, and they do it as a personal loan, so that means you don't have to mortgage your house or actually have to own property or something like that. I mean, a lot of people, sometimes they jump a bit at the interest rate. I mean, you know, it's probably gone up a bit. The last, I was chatting to the guys, around 6%. They're probably up 7 or 8% now because the interest rates are going up a little bit. But when you really weigh it up, it's over a course of a 7-year period. When you weigh up the potential, if you're actually going to be renting or something like that, when you look at the cost, actually I've done the exercise. Say you're paying, okay, a personal loan to buy a tiny home, whether you're borrowing 100 grand, 120 grand or whatever, it might be 6%, okay? 6% over that period of time might cost you 40 or 50 grand in interest. However, if you hadn't gone down the path of actually getting a tiny home and you're paying rent somewhere, say you're paying, I don't know, $500 a week rent, that's 25 grand a year. Now let's time that by 7 years. That's $175,000. So versus the 40 grand in interest you just paid. So over the 7-year period. So you've really got to, if you do your homework, it just makes total commercial sense to actually get into the tiny homes. I mean, if you don't have that luxury of being able to afford $1 million loan or have $1 million to go and buy a house somewhere, tiny homes are definitely the way to go. The industry itself is really expanding across Australia. I mean, I love it. I think it's just, I'm having great fun. I mean, I'm loving it. It's a lot less stressful than building a high rise. Those that know me have been around for a while know that I've actually been, I came out of the high-rise industry. I've been doing that for about 25 years, and I thought I'd wind the res back a bit, and we'll just go from high-rise to tiny homes. It's less stressful, you know. So, but then again, you get a delivery up to Cairns, and man, I've got my phone beside me at the moment. Grillsy's on his way up to Cairns. I mean, this is his 3rd day. I mean, this is insane. Like, you know how far Cairns is away from Shell Harbour? 2,500 k's. wow. That's like, man, I don't go that far from my holidays, man, even on the aeroplane. You know, well, actually, I don't go on holidays. So, but Grills, he's killing it. I don't know if you've been following us. I don't know if you've been following us with with Grillsy's journey up to the Cairns, but it's just stress is the wrong word. Like, I don't stress. I call it managed pressure. But I tell you what, I don't leave his side. I mean, he might be driving, but I tell you what, I don't sleep. You know, fortunately, he doesn't travel at night time because with the oversized load, you've got to have a pilot vehicle to be able to travel at night time. And because he's just going on his own, the 2,500 k's, so he doesn't have a pilot vehicle. So obviously, sun up to sundown, he can drive. We're well outside the Sydney Metro, the Greater Sydney area, so there's no other curfews and stuff. So he can just keep driving. As soon as the sun's up, guns up, you know, away he goes. You know, I don't know if you've been following us, but old Grills, he knocks up. He's taking his bacon and eggs and stuff. He cooks them up on his little mobile barbecue. And that, I mean, I'm loving it. Right? This guy's a mountain of a man. I love Grills. He's just dedicated. He just loves to drive. Just give me a truck and I'm just going to drive, you know. He loves it. Oh, I just had a gawk at my hands there. Have a look at that. Have a look at that day.
Show yet?
No. Oh. But have a look at that day. I was just reminiscing about young Flame getting her nails done today.
Yes.
Right, and because it was her birthday. How old is she?
She's 13.
Oh, she's 12. Right. And
13.
13, right.
Yeah.
And she showed me these beautiful nails, and I thought I'll have a look at mine. Have a look at that.
Did you know they're called the coffin shape? Who knew? Who knew you could have
whatever that means.
Nails, coffin shaped nails.
Wow.
Don't ask. Don't ask. Yep.
So yeah, I was sort of reflecting on her nails and my nails because I just did a bit of mechanical work this afternoon, getting the Kubota going because lots of slashing to do. So anyway, so yeah.
Did you talk about the show?
No. Oh,
the show that was the show that was just on telly.
Oh, the what do you call the show?
Did you watch the show?
Oh, so fun.
Did you miss it? Did you watch it? We didn't win.
No, but it was so funny. I'm thinking, Sharon says, the show's on. I said, what show? She said the bloody Australia's best finance, wasn't it? I'll go and have a look.
Here's my take, and then I'll go back and cook because I'm cooking.
Right.
But how good is it that on an Australian show, what's the name of the show? Anyway, the one we watched yesterday.
Yeah.
They had a segment for small homes. Okay, now there was a home that was like 200 square meters or something. So I wouldn't say that's a small home, but there was one. And then there was one that was on the water, and then there was ours. But so, like, represent for the tiny homes. Small home, like 30 square meters is a small home. So if the criteria for judging was the smallest home, we would have won by a mile.
Oh, yeah. But it's not about winning. Who cares? You know, at the end of the day, we've got a bit of exposure.
Yeah, but it's really good.
Got
so
extra few,
at least,
extra
like,
Googles.
you know, for the tiny house community, we were representing.
Yeah.
Yay!
Well, that's it, absolutely. Because you know what? Tiny houses aren't going anywhere. There's lots of companies that are starting to jump on board. I mean, I'm loving it. Like, it's the more tiny house companies that get into the industry.
The show was great.
Yeah,
it was great.
It was a great show. Yeah. And it was really good because what happens is the more exposure we can give to tiny homes, it's just going to raise the whole profile of the whole industry, you know. So which is awesome.
Which they showcase you more. Yes, that's well, the one that's coming to air next year, which is my Dream Aussie Build, coming to your screens in 2023. It's a 6-episode show. So we'll be on there a lot.
Yeah, done 4.
I won't be on there. You'll be on there a lot.
We've done 4 photo shoots of that.
You have. We've got 2 more to go. Yeah. So that's exciting.
No, it was good because I think it just what's the word? Gives highlight to the whole industry of tiny homes.
Exactly, that's right.
And they're not going away. Like tiny homes are going nowhere. I think it's a thriving
all the builders
industry.
have got to come together and
I think if everyone could just pull together, all of us just raise the whole profile of the tiny
exactly,
home
and then the governments will
just
take notice, and then
absolutely. And just remember, no tiny house company can supply the whole of Australia.
Exactly.
Because we're all on wheels, so we can go anywhere.
That's right.
So we've got to support each other, we've got to back each other up, and we've got to actually...
not put each other down.
Not put each other down.
That's
and just really add value
Community
to the
over
industry.
Competition, that's what they say.
Oh, geez, that's nice.
I know, it's big words. All right, I'm going to cook. Bye.
Is that why you get paid the big money,
It
Dale? Right, hey, keep them questions coming, but I've got a few here I've got to crack into, so I'll start on those. Do you build 9 metre tiny homes? Well, in actual fact, we do. We've got one coming up very short, 9.2 in actual fact it'll be. Hang on, Brilliant for, I know I've read that question. Just watch the shows, we stay show. The, what do you call it? The 9.2, yeah. So we've got a 9.2, we're actually starting very shortly. Duns and sums on it. We're only going to be able to go single level for most of the home, 2-story at one end of the home. It's all about weight. If you know the tiny home industry, as tiny home builders, we've actually, because our trailers are actually, the overall GVR on the trailers is 4.5 tonnes. That means we've got to keep our weight down. So when you start, you can't be talking marble bench tops and all this sort of stuff because it's just too heavy. Everything you put into your home, I mean, you've got to think right down to the screws and the nuts and the bolts to actually put this home together, put the homes together. That everything you put in the home is going to add weight to the home. And the objective is, if we can, build the home so we can actually get it on the road without pulling stuff out of it and then have to put it back together on once the actual delivery's been done. We are actually have under what's the word I'm after? Under design a 6-ton trailer, and we believe we'll be able to do it without air brakes, which keeps the cost down. Now, if we can pull this off, this will be huge. Now we're talking like, hey, the sky's the limit. So that's going to be great. So we're working on that. It's early days, but we're that'll be probably well into next year. We should be able to start doing some larger homes again, bigger than what we're actually already doing. But yeah, 9.2 metre homes that we've got one under construction very shortly, and it's going to be interesting to see. And I think I've mentioned before that we actually get mobile weigh bridges in. We've got Ross that comes in, he brings in his scales and stuff. We actually know the ball weight, we know wheel by wheel, so 6 wheels, electric brakes, we know the actual weight per wheel on our tiny homes. So we've got an overall then, so the tiny home's on its own, so 6 wheels with on the actual scales, and another one on the ball. The objective, if we try to pull off around about 10% of the overall weight of the tiny home on the actual tow ball, okay? So it's a 4.5 tonne. The objective is try to get around about 400 kilos actually on the ball. So that's what the objective is. And it's all a little bit of there's no real science to it. I mean, you can try to do it real mechanical and mathematical and all this sort of stuff, but I sort of have a bit of an educated guess on what's going to be, where the weight's going to be and the load and all that sort of stuff. So, but just bear in mind, with your tiny homes, you've got to keep it around that 4.5 tonne mark to keep them legal, because the trailers, the GVR of the trailers is 4.5 tonne, which includes the actual weight of the trailer and the tiny home on top of that trailer, you know. Number 2, oh, crikey, I can't believe I'm up at number 2. I saw the Australia's Best House last night. I think we answered this. What model was that home that was on that, and was that a bath in the deck? Yeah, well, that model we had on the Australia's Best Tiny House last night, that was our Jolie model. So the Jolie model is actually 3-bedroom. So we've got a master bedroom downstairs, a master bedroom upstairs, and then we've got another second loft on the other side, which for that show, we actually had it set up as an actual office. Okay, so it's 3-bedroom, and we've seen, as you saw there last night, upstairs in the upstairs loft, standing room, like I'm there with me working boots on, my cowboy hat, and I'm still clearing the ceiling height. So, but then again, I'm only 5'10". So, actually, that's probably, I think I've shrunk about an inch, hump on steel over the last couple of years. So, but yeah, around about that 6 foot ceiling height upstairs in our tiny home. Did I answer that question in regards, there was a question earlier about the height. Can we do higher than 6 foot upstairs? The answer to that question is yes, but I need to get a once-off permit, okay, because I'll be over the oversized load. That means I come into the category of an oversized, which means I need a permit, and yes, we can do it, okay? Now, all of the consumer mains, that's all the electrical power lines crossing the road, the consumer mains and that connecting to houses, they're supposed to be 5.5 metres. If you're with me there a couple of weeks ago, I cleared a run all the way up to Stanwell Park because I took out took out a few consumer loans. They were well under height. Because we're only 4.6, so they were not near a metre or too low, you know. So, but yeah, the consumer mains are supposed to be 5.5, which means if we up our 4.6 to about 4.8, if you're really tall, we can do that, but we need to get a once-off permit, and then I'll let the clients know that next time if they do move it again from that site, they'll need to get a permit again to actually move it, okay? Couldn't believe the headroom in your loft. That was in relation to the show. Is that legal on the road? I think I answered that. Yes, our tiny homes, I've mentioned before, effectively the terminology for our tiny homes, because our trailers are detachable of the tiny home. So we've got a registered trailer, 150 mil of running gear. Okay, so the infrastructure of our trailer, 150 millimeters of structural aluminium. Okay, this is actually, we've actually made up, our trailer company that we're partnering with, we've actually made up our own jig to come up with 150 mil C-section for our trailers. Then on top of that, we've got our 100 millimeter of structural aluminium for the actual tiny home chassis. So the overall of our substructure is 250 millimeters of structural aluminium. These things are rock solid. And because it's aluminium, we're still coming, it really helps our overall weight to make sure we hang around that 4.5 tonne on the overall weight of our tiny home. I passed one of our tiny homes near Roma. Wow, that is huge. How big is that? Okay, the home that we had, we've got going up to Cairns. That's our what is that? That's our Jackson model. That's a Jackson model going up to Cairns. That's got the two lofts upstairs, a master bedroom and a second loft upstairs, massive kitchen, bathroom downstairs. It's got a deck and all. Can you believe this? Like, we're coming in right on the money with our weight. 7.2 metres long, 4.6 metres high, 3 metres wide, deck and awning, 4.8 metre by 1.8 metre deck. Mate, we're within a stone throw of 4.5 metres. Wow. 4.5 metres, 4.5. Thanks for that, Dave. Lucky you're listening. So 4.5 tonne. So, which is awesome. And obviously we've been through heaps of wave bridges and all that sort of stuff. So we're right on the money, and it's great. When Grillsy goes through all the wave bridges, like what happens when you got this the static wave bridges? They're ones that are manned full time, like 24 hours. You know, when you drive through, it's always that you wait and you see a flashing light will come up. It'll either say please proceed through to the wave bridge, or please proceed back to the highway. And Grillsy, every time he goes through one of these static wave bridges, he sends me a text, proceed back to the highway. And I go, you beauty. You've got to be happy with that. So good on you, Grillsy, mate. What a legend. I love this guy. Man, he's a mountain man, but he just loves to drive. He just give him the keys and he just drives. He just keeps going. He loves that stuff. Number 5. Okay. Are you exhibiting at the Brisbane Tiny House? Yeah, actually, shout out. I forgot to do this last week. This weekend, not today, next weekend. Brisbane Tiny House Carnival, Expo, Carnival, whatever it is. It's got to be great, man. I'm so looking forward. Hey, listen, if you're up in Queensland and Brisbane or whatever, come and say good day. If you follow us or you see me around, come and say good day. Make sure you introduce yourself. I'm looking forward to exhibiting up in Brisbane. We've never done it up in Queensland, never done it before. So looking to, just really excited about picking up some extra clientele up in that direction, you know, and showing you our stuff, what we can do. And what we're taking up to Brisbane, we're taking up a Jolie model. But what we've done with this Jolie model, okay, it's a Jolie model, if you're aware of our website, it's a 3-bedroom model, okay? Bedroom downstairs got the double bunks in it, then upstairs you got the 2 bunks. But this one here, this one here has actually got no second loft. So when you walk into this tiny home, okay, straight into a 4-metre ceiling height. This is huge. And down, we've got a built-in lounge. We've got a fireplace happening. It's just unreal. So if you get a chance, pop in, say good day. So looking forward to meeting you at the Brisbane Expo Tiny Home.
I'm not going to be there.
You're not coming up?
No.
Where are you going to be?
I'm going to left, right, out.
Left,
Actually,
right, out. You
no,
go left, right, out.
I'm going to Lord Howe Island to
Oh.
see my daughter and my grandchildren and my son-in-law.
Good on you. Though.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
You should be with me, but you're going to Brisbane.
Well, I heard you were shooting through. So the kids up. I'm going to do something. I'm going to be bored sitting back here by myself, so I'm out of here.
So we've got to leave everyone else here at home on their own. Oh well, that's all right.
No, the kids will be right up.
Yeah. Any questions while I'm here?
Yeah. Any more questions? Make sure you keep them questions coming.
Okay, keep going. Where are you
Yeah.
up to?
Oh, number 6. What's your lead time on a tiny build? At the moment, I keep on saying we're full up for the year, but I'm really actually shout out to my crew. They are really performing. Like the carpenters, we've got 6 carpenters now, and they're just going hammer and time. It's just, man, like loving it. I've got young Jack, 2nd year apprentice. Mate, this guy's near running the show. Like just the way the troops have really just stepped up to the plate. Young Beck, she's really performing.
That's our female apprentice.
Female apprentice, you know, and then you got Kano. We've got a couple of new bods coming on board. Young Tom and Nick and stuff. You know, like they're really dedicated. They're loving their work, and you can just see that in the mornings when they come in. We do a debrief every morning. We get stuck into it, you know, and. The guys are great, and we're really covering some ground. So in saying that, what was 8 months ago around about a 10 working day critical path for our tiny homes, we've actually brought that back to about 6 days critical path on our tiny homes. What that means is we can actually we're building them quicker. So it's like, wow, loving it, though. Got any questions, Doug?
No, I'm just enjoying watching you do your thing. So.
Okay. A friend passed me a video of one of your homes. Had a lounge downstairs, walk past bathroom and a master bedroom downstairs. I couldn't find that on the webpage. What is the name of that model? Well, a couple of things. The reason we haven't named that model is because my 4th daughter is pregnant. She hasn't had a baby yet, so we don't know what the name is. So once we get that name, then we'll be able to name that model, okay?
Oh. I think you just...
Oops. Hasn't she told her when she's pregnant?
No.
Oh, oops. Anyway, it's all good. No one knows me. No one knows me, no, it's all good. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
So once we know the name
daughter,
of the baby...
Please bring your family. Tell them in case they're watching, because Dad's just let it slip, okay? So please make the phone call.
So just on that model... this model, Joe from Victoria, South Australia. Where's she from?
Joe, Victoria.
Oh, Victoria.
Yeah.
Joe from Victoria. Actually, I'm going to give Joe the accolades for this because I wasn't that clever to design this one. It was actually Joe.
Yeah.
Loving this, and
We
because
learn something from our clients every time.
Oh, absolutely.
Every time.
and I can't keep taking the praise up.
No.
No.
Don't do that.
Remember, I'm
It's not
that,
us.
I'm not that clever.
Exactly
I'm
right.
Not that clever. Anyway, Jo has actually conceived this idea. She wanted this, and this. And because our homes are 3 metres wide, we can actually walk down a hallway and you can actually walk past the bathroom. So we've got a 2 metre by 1.8 metre bathroom and you can walk past it into the master bedroom. Wow.
Jack just asked a question. Jack, at the end of this live, go back to the beginning because he actually talked about that, the permit for the 3 metre wall.
Right.
It's already been covered, so
yeah.
just go back to the beginning.
Jump back and start, Jack. And but if you want to chat to me later on that, give us a call. My number's on the Google, so give us a call on that one there. Did I? Oh no, I did. I was going to talk about Enzo delivery, but I think I spoke about that. I had to give Enzo a crash course in 4-wheel driving and snap strapping.
Yes.
And hooked him up, and I just said, "Go on, mate, just give us some." It's so funny because obviously Enzo hadn't been 4-wheel driving before.
The thing I'm finding is that when you do a delivery for clients and it's not easy, the appreciation level just goes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. If you just walk into a home, it's all done for you. It's like, whatever.
And I think people are probably getting a taste of that with Grillsy's delivery as we speak going up to Cairns.
It's not
2,500 Ks. Anything could happen. Honestly, Grillsy's on the road. He's actually literally got the floodwaters chasing him. He's literally chasing as he goes through. Closed. As he goes through, right, and then. 2 tyres blown out, and luckily Grillsy had his 2-way on, truck coming up behind, and calls Grillsy up, 10-4 there, big butt. You know, you got
Yes.
two blown tyres. So,
We can do all the checks and all the safety measures and everything, and then you get on a road that's had
Full of
some
potholes.
flood water and it's had some
Potholes
sticks
and
and all the
whatever.
things, and you just don't know. Luckily, we had some spares, so
I normally always just said 2 spares, but I think I've got to send a few more.
we're going to send a few more. Megan wants to visit the showroom on a Monday or a Tuesday. Yes,
Yeah.
you can,
Yeah.
but you just have to ring and make an
No,
appointment.
Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays is actually open.
Fine.
Stu's there
Yeah.
on those days. Mondays, give me a call and I can crack it open for you. No problem at all. So my number's on the net or we'll actually be open
Look,
Tuesdays,
there's
Wednesdays,
always
Thursdays.
someone around, but
Yeah,
we just
someone
try to have days where we try to do more client stuff
Yeah.
because when it's open, we just don't have time.
Just trying to keep the materials up to guys at the moment. Holy dooly. Like the windows, I just got to order and just like give me another set of windows, bro. Like just keep them coming.
Yeah.
And it's
Well,
just-
that's something you need to tell them because
Yeah, windows are the biggest thing right now because building industry is pretty hectic. Although in saying that's probably going to crash at the end of the year, so that'll help us. We'll just keep ordering.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the
Won't have that big
windows
delay.
are out to they close
Yeah.
sort of
Soon.
mid-December. They
Yeah.
close off. Well, they're closing off their orders for the rest of this year.
Yeah,
All window companies. So.
yeah.
Which means that we have to forward order all the windows for all the builds prior
If they're
to
not
Christmas.
standard
And
windows.
that's right. And most of our clients are asking for some extra things.
Mm.
So it's not like we can just have, 10 lots of windows in store, in stock. We don't have the room for that. Next question.
Yeah. I saw the show last night. You should have won.
won.
Oh, but
Yes.
listen.
Woo!
I
We
tell you what
should
I
have
was
won.
first at. I came second, so I'm first loser.
That's right. But what were they judging on? We were in the category of small
Small
homes.
homes, yeah.
Well, we're the smallest home, so we should have won because we were only 30 square metres.
Yeah.
We're the smallest home.
It's all good.
Oh,
But-
no, a little bit upset about it. I mean, I think
Should be
we
right.
did really well, and our clients. So that home that you see on that show, which is on 9 Life, you can go back and watch it. Margaret, it's out at Louis, so Mudgee region. Absolutely beautiful. She has a farm stay. If you'd like to go visit her, just get in contact with us. You can. I'm sure she'd show you through her tiny, but also stay at her farm stay. She's the most beautiful person,
Yeah.
and we all were
Love-
messaging each other last night, going, "We should have won that."
Yeah.
What's wrong with them?
But I'll tell you what she did. Huge shout out for the pivot fireplaces. Okay, she loves her fireplace that we have. You would have saw that last night in the home.
Yes.
2 sticks of timber. She just sits back.
Yep.
Little bit of wine. You
You know what
drinkies.
while I'm here,
All
because
over.
I'm cooking. I'm supposed to be cooking, but I'm chatting.
Don't worry.
I know. Some of the pictures you're seeing now are from clients who've been in their homes for a while, and so we're starting to post their photos of them living in there. And we've had so many comments from people saying you can't live in a tiny house with two children or more. So the recent one that everybody's raving over of Christie's, her styling is just beyond.
wow.
She has 2 children. They live in that full time. So people. They can say what they can say, and I've actually heard it on the podcast with Lucy, with Tiny House Conversation podcast. Only couples or a couple with a child. That's sort of about it. Not with ours. No way. Not with ours. So
Feel
and
the
they're
family there.
loving it. Loving
Yeah,
it. So,
yeah. Which is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, that's great. Tiny house living. I reckon it's a way to go.
It'd be the way to go if we didn't have 1,000 children.
Oh, yeah. No, you got to stop posturing up. How much is enough? Oh dear. Okay. Where we're up to? Yeah, Grillsy. Where's he up to? I tried ringing Grillsy's earlier, so I sent him a text and said, "Grills, where are you, man? What's
if you
happening
just
tonight?"
joined, that's the driver that's heading up
Yeah.
to Cairns.
Okay. Grills. He's my driver. He's on his way up to Cairns. He's taken a Jackson model.
You know
over
that
to
Rick
Cairns.
loves you when you get a nickname, okay? You'll get a nickname. Even the clients will get a nickname. If you don't get a nickname, something's wrong.
Hang 5 and I'm going to tell you how Grillsy got his nickname. You want to hear this. This is like, this
I
is
don't know that.
unreal. Don't you?
No.
Yeah. Anyway, as it turns out, he sent me a text through.
Yes, I did.
Grillsy, he's pulled up at Springshaw, which is just short of Emerald, which is about, what I work out, about 1,900 Ks from here. So he's only got 2,500 to go overall. So reasonably comfortable trip tomorrow, and he'll polish it off Tuesday morning, the actual delivery.
Right.
Anyway, he's pulled up in Springshaw for a film shoot.
What? Somebody's
Screenshot.
pulled him over?
Yeah, just want to get a
Okay.
snap of that.
Probably a snap of him.
Yeah.
He's a pretty good-looking man. All our boys are good-looking, aren't they?
Yeah.
Hey? Yeah.
Grillsy, hey, okay, I've left you hanging long enough. Grillsy, how did Grillsy get his nickname?
How did he get his name?
Now, first,
How did he get his
I'm
name?
going to give you a bit of a picture. You might, if you've seen it, you might have seen a picture of Grills. I think you've had to get.
He's a huge bear. He's massive.
He's a mountain of a man, right?
Yeah.
Mountain of a man, big cullage headed bear. Anyway, long story short, I take a tribe of fellas out bush every year, about 40 odd blokes. We go man versus wild weekend. Anyway, Grills, we're going doing a bit of hiking at one stage of the trip, and he goes over tea, and he falls over, he cuts the crap out of his hand and slices himself all the way down around here. Anyway, get back to the campsite, and we just put the ultimatum on. I said, righto, Nick, there's two things we can do here, bro. We can take you to the hospital, or we can actually stitch you up with your own suture kit that you brought. Which way we're going to go? So he just looked at it, he said, just do it. So anyway, we gave him a stick of timber, he stuck it in his teeth and a couple of whiskies, and on the spot, no anaesthetic, we just stitched him up, about 8 stitches. We just literally stitched him up raw on with his hand. So, and from that, he's earned the name Bear Grylls, or Grills for short, and what a legend, mate. There's not many fellas that can actually do that. So shout out to Grillsy on that, mate, and safe trip also up to Cairns, eh? I think we're just about done. What's this last one here? What model are you bringing up to the Brisbane Tiny House Expo? That will be our Jolie model. I did touch upon this earlier. It's a 3-bedroom model, but with this model, we've only actually got 1 bedroom upstairs, so we've kept the second loft out of it, so it's just like full blown, just open. You just walk straight into the sliding doors off the deck and straight into a 4-metre ceiling height. Downstairs, you've got another bedroom, you've got double bunks in there and a bathroom beside that. Massive kitchen. Like I said, if you get a chance, pop into the Tiny Home Expo there in Brisbane. If you see me there, like, come and say g'day and say g'day, Rick, how you going, mate? And she's all good. So looking forward to doing that. I'm flying up there. We've got that Tiny Home leaves about Wednesday. Put that over the Wade Bridge. We're actually right on the money with the weights on that. So that's 7.2 metre, 4.6 metre high, 3 metres wide. And so, yeah, it's... and shout out to Chris, actually. He's actually towed up with his Dodge Ram. So because Nick's got my truck going up to Cairns, so I've got Chris on board. He's towing this one up with a Dodge Ram. So... so that'll be great, and I think I'm just about done. I think you've had enough of me rattling on. I don't know what time's it done. I'm just about done. Dinner's near finished, and near cooked.
Early.
Hey, I'm good to go. Have a great week. If you've got any questions, throw them at us during the week.
Be no live next weekend.
Oh, hang on a second. I've got one question here. Can you please explain the earth angles for tiny homes? Okay. On all of our tiny homes, they actually come standard with welded 10mm aluminium onto the bottom of the actual tiny home chassis. Okay, so with a pre-drilled hole out of it, so you can actually anchor these tiny homes down. So early in the piece, what we were doing was actually putting or advising to put in around about 300 or 400mm diameter holes into the ground, about 1 metre deep, fill it full of concrete, put a bit of chain in it, and then you can in the wet concrete. So then you can drive the tiny home on top and actually de-shackle that down to the tiny home, you know. But we've just come across these earth anchors. Now these things here, these are unbelievable. You can actually probably do a whole set for a whole tiny home. You're probably talking about $2.5 grand, but you actually get a certificate of uplift. What's the word? Tonnage on these on each of these earth anchors. Each earth anchor has about a 3-ton uplift. Okay, so they bring a special machine in. It's probably simpler than doing the concrete. It's around about the same price anyway. So these guys come in. They got a special machine that dries these anchors. It's very similar to an anchor on a boat. Okay, you throw it out in the back of your boat. These things actually drive it into the ground.
So they can actually look it up. It's earthanchors.com.au.
Earthanchors.com.au.
Yeah, look it up.
Okay, look it up, check it out. Like I said, the average tiny home probably going to cost you about $2,000, $2,500. But for that peace of mind, so whoever you're getting a tiny home from, whether it be us or another company, make sure you chat to them about the potential of tying the tiny home down, especially if you're in a high wind area. A lot of homes, of course, they're going into areas that are a little bit protected and there's no winds, they're in the scrub or something like that, so there's no massive wind and stuff you need to worry about. But with the earth anchors, if you're in a high profile area, you're sort of sitting up on the top of a hill, that's where the views are. You need to anchor that down just for that bit of peace of mind, a couple extra grand. The good thing about if you ever move your tiny home from that place, you can't take the earth anchor with you, but at least you can just chop it off at ground level and it disappears just like that, covered in grass, you know. But anyway, I've rattled on enough today, and hey, for those that are up in Brisbane, make sure you come along to the Tiny Home Expo in Brisbane, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Come along, say good day, make sure you introduce yourself, and yeah, looking forward to meeting you up there, and have a great week and see you soon. Hooroo.